7:45, so we are going to go ahead and get
Yeah.
started.
What I'm going to do is I'm going to stop sharing, Emily, and I'm going to let you take over.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, then what I'm going to actually do is, so it's going to be on your iPad. I'll show y'all where it is. Let me go ahead and share my screen on my iPad. So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to quickly open our, let's see if I can get this out of the way. Get swipe to the side. I'm going to open our webinar slide deck. And I'm just going to pull it up in Goodnotes really quickly. So here's the bit.ly if you haven't joined. And good. Kaylee responded to Kelly. So if you need that bit.ly, I believe it's also in the chat. Kaylee has been posting it. Karen is not with us tonight, but normally she is, if you've been to any of our previous webinars. But Kaylee and myself are here, and we are so excited to talk to you today about Goodnotes. So this is what we're going to be covering tonight. So we're going to talk about some navigation features that you might not be aware of, some advanced tools, how to import documents in a new way that you might not have done before, some quick tricks that we have learned along the way that are absolutely incredible, how to collaborate and share with other teachers. And the last one is on best practices and a really exciting new thing that has come to iPads just very, very recently. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to talk to you a little bit about navigation. And so I'm actually in a Goodnotes. I'm in Goodnotes right now, and so I'm seeing a little bit of double here because I see the toolbar at the top. But notice up here where you might see my mouse, it's green, where I'm hovering. So that is the navigation bar. And then the bar down here, this is the handwriting bar. And so they're two separate bars. And one thing that is important to know is that to be able to annotate on any of your documents, you do have to turn this on. And so I'm going to go ahead and click it, and notice suddenly my handwriting toolbar appears. Another thing you might not know about this is that Goodnotes does not break links or videos. And so if I wanted to use a hyperlink that was within this Goodnotes document, all I need to do is turn off the handwriting toolbar, and then I actually have a link right here that if I click it, and this will happen for any links that you have, videos, websites, it'll bring you outside of Goodnotes. And so I can go ahead and click that link, and this actually brings me to a Google Drive file that I wanted to share with you all that is actually a calendar. I started in January, in case you wanted to backtrack, just I felt weird starting in February. It was an odd month to start. I felt like I had to start in January. I did January till the end of the next school year. And so it is a template preview, so you can actually get your own copy of this if you click that. I'm going to go back to Goodnotes and just show you a couple of the other features before I jump into that calendar. We have the button to add a new page. You can bookmark pages if you frequently want to access them. The share and collaborate button that Kaylee's going to talk about later is right over here. If you want to view all your pages, so for example, if I come up here and I click this button, I can view all of my pages. And sometimes this is really helpful if you're looking for a particular page rather than scrolling through each page. And then the last button is this back to library view, which will just bring you back to your library. And I'm actually going to talk about voice recordings in just a minute. Okay, so like I said, if you want to access things, you're going to click on them, but you got to turn off the handwriting toolbar. So make sure this is off. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to open this calendar up. And so you can follow along if you'd like, but because this is in my drive, this is a file that I'm pulling in from my drive. It is a slide deck. I'm just going to go to my drive. A tip that Karen shared with us is that this is my drive, but to find anything quickly, I could search, but sometimes searching in your drive, if you have a lot of files, can be daunting. So I like pressing the 3 lines on the left-hand side, and I'm going to go to Recent. And I'm going to do this. This is exactly what I just did to open that same slide deck, but I'm going to open this blank calendar. I'm going to press the 3 dots on the side and open in. And please ask questions, or if you need anything repeated. I feel like I'm blazing through this. Sometimes I get excited and I talk really fast sometimes. Sometimes Kaylee's in the back saying, slow down. Okay, that button is disabled. I wonder which button are you referring to? You should be able to open in Goodnotes. And I could open to the same document because I have one open, but I'm actually going to import as a new document. And I can choose what folder it's going to go into. I'm going to choose Klein. I made a Klein folder. And I have my calendar here. And so if I press on that corner, that kind of waffle button, and here, I'll go back and show that real quick again. So I'm in my drive and I press the 3 dots and I'm going to do open in. And that's how I get it to open in Goodnotes. Okay. So I have all of my pages from my calendar here. So I have a month for January, February, and this is the real calendar. Because I have the handwriting toolbar turned off, I can press each month has this calendar button that brings us back to the home page. Let's say I'll go back to February because that's where we're at now. Maybe I want my to-do list, so I can jump to a to-do list. And really all these are just hyperlinks within one document. So they're just jumping to different pages within the document. And my to-do lists are very fluid, at least for me. But if I wanted to, I could always copy this page. Or I could clear the page if I didn't want to use it anymore, like if I wanted to kind of start fresh rather than having to erase every item. But I'm going to actually go back to the home page. So I'm going to press that waffle. I'm going to scroll up and I'm going to go back to February and notice there's this stickers page. So one of the things that I really like to do in Goodnotes is I like to add in images and stickers. Now, if you jump to that stickers page, it's empty, and I'm going to show you how to add those stickers in it, and I actually have some files for you. So the first thing, so I have on here, let's see, advanced tools. So the very first thing, I'm actually going to do text first because it might be a little easier to start with text. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how to set a default text and then talk to you about some of our favorites. And you can see my 2 favorite fonts. So I like Marker Felt, and then Kaylee told me Noteworthy. And so each of us kind of, I don't know if Noteworthy is Kaylee's favorite, but I know I love Marker Felt for everything. I just think it is so cute. And they have different variations, thin, wide, bold, and light. So let's go back to my calendar, and I'm going to.
My favorite is Marker Felt. That's my default.
Oh, it is? Yeah, my default is Marker Felt. Let's go to February, and I'm going to write on the 14th. Now, remember to edit, I've got to press this button here. So I'm going to go here to turn my handwriting toolbar on. I'm going to press the text button, and notice it's set, my default is set to chalkboard. It's size 92 and is this purplish color. I want to change that. So I'm going to go ahead and make a text box right here. And this is humongous, way too big for this calendar. So I'm just going to put Valentine's Day, but I need to change my default. So first I got to just make my settings. So I'm going to highlight it, and I'm going to jump. See, I have some recents that I have done, but I'm going to scroll down. Actually, I can search. Let's search for that Marker Felt that Kaylee and I love. And I'm going to do the thin. Did it change? It did change. Okay. I also got to change that size. That size is way too big. I love that it has this scroll bar. So I'm going to scroll it way down, and I'm also going to change that color. And I could do a preset, or I could do a custom color. Love that you can add hex codes in. Just search online for cute hex codes. I'm going to do a pink one. And now if I want to save this as my default, all I have to do is press the T with the heart and press save as default. So now when I make a new text box, it will already have that text in that font as the default. Okay, so the next thing that I'm going to show you is the lasso tool. And so what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to grab, I do have a pen. And so this is just a little cheap, this is a cheap $15 Amazon pen. I have a real one, but I prefer my cheap one because I don't know, I just think it works better. But I'm gonna go ahead and turn on, this is the lasso tool. This allows you to grab and move different things. And so I'll jump back over to my slide deck. And these are all the things you can do down here. So you can move objects, you can copy and paste, resize, rotate, convert handwriting to text. That is great if you have third grade boy handwriting like I do. You can take screenshots, change pen, you can change color of pens or highlighters, or delete selected items. So I'll show you guys some of those things. And so the first thing I'm going to do is I have the lasso tool on. I am just going to circle the element that I want to move, and I can hold down on it. And notice I get some different options here. So let's say I want to resize it. I can resize, and you can use your finger for all of this as well. I could also change the color. I could copy and paste. And then I come over here, I'll select off of it, hold down and paste. And oh, let's see, maybe, let's try that again. Paste, oh, look how it's saving that default font. Let's try that one more time. Copy, and then I'm gonna hold down and paste and match style. Okay, so that default font was really, it was holding that style. But then you can copy text over. But let's see, I'm going to go ahead and add an image. And so I'm going to come over here just to, or I'll add a shape to show you, or let's do an image. Okay, so here is an apple image that I just have saved to my iPad. And notice that they are layered. When you add different items, the most recent goes on top. I can reorder them though, but if I want to select just the text, I'll go back to the lasso tool. Notice it's selecting everything, but I want to bring that text to the top. And it's kind of, even if I try to just grab the text, it's still grabbing that apple. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on the lasso tool and I'm going to turn off images. I do have to reselect. So because I've turned off images, now I will only select the text, which I really like because then I could hold down and I could arrange, bring to front. Now I'm going to bring this up. And I'm going to draw a box around this, hold down, and I'm going to take a screenshot. Oh, but notice it took a screenshot, but it didn't get the apple in there. And that's because the lasso tool did not have images turned on. So I'm going to turn that back on. And I want to take a screenshot of this. I'm going to take a screenshot. I'm going to press that share button and press copy. And I could actually go onto another page. I could go into another notebook, hold down again, paste, and it brings that screenshot right in. So I really like that feature. So that is the lasso tool. I'm going to go ahead and move these. Let's bring Valentine's Day back. That's driving me nuts. Okay. Resize, make it smaller, and bring it back down to the 14th. I'm going to hold down on that apple, select it, and delete it. Okay, so that is the lasso tool. Now you might be wondering, how did I get that apple in here? And so I'm going to show you how I did that. If I were to, let's say I want to bring an image in. So I'm going to open Safari and I'll do a new page and I'm just going to search for a dog. Images. And ooh, this one is so cute. This looks a lot like a Cairn Terrier. I used to have a Cairn Terrier. I'm just going to hold down and press save to photos. And so it just got saved to my photo album. I'm going to open Goodnotes again. And what I'm doing right now is I'm just slowly scrolling up from the bottom so I can see my doc. I'm going to grab photos and bring it over here to the side. Now, so I am now in a split screen. Ooh, let me go all the way to my photos. I have the dog on one side. I have my Goodnotes on the other side. So I'm going to tap on the photo to just make that photo larger. I'm going to hold down on the dog. And did you see that happen? Did you see the kind of the magic? I don't even know how to describe that. It I don't know, a little glowing silver light goes around the dog and I can just drag it right over into Goodnotes, and then I can bring it in here and have that image in here. Now, let's say I want to, okay, I'm going to go back to full screen. So I'm going to press those three dots on the top, go to full screen. And I love this dog. I want to use this dog in other notebooks. This dog is just so cute. I could repeatedly copy this. I could just go back to this notebook and copy it, but I love this dog so much. I want easy access. So I'm going to select it. I'm just going to hold down, and you'll notice right here, it says add element. So elements are items that you want to use in multiple notebooks. That's kind of a simple way to describe it. And so I'm going to click add to element. I do have some collections in here that I've created. You can add them to different kind of like folders. So I'm going to add that. I'm gonna make a new collection and just call this collection animals. And now I have this dog here. So I'll go back to this another notebook, and elements is actually right over here. And if I click that, I have it right here. Click on my screen. Here is my dog, and I can bring it right in. And so this is a really quick way to bring in images to multiple notebooks. Now, I want to add some stickers in. So what I'm actually going to do is, you have access to this. So it was the page, these images, right here. Okay, so I showed you guys how to add to elements. I talked about how to bring in images from Google kind of into your notebook with that split screen. But now I want to give you some stickers. So if you click on, let's see, ooh, is that link working? Oh, you know what I forgot? You've got to turn that handwriting toolbar off. I'm going to go ahead and click school stickers. And what this is I have given you all this will only open in Goodnotes. So if you're on your computer, a Windows computer, it's not going to open, but this file is a Goodnotes notebook that is filled with some stickers. So I'm going to go to my drive, and I have it right here. And oh, I'm not going to drop my drive right now. I'm going to click open in. This is my school stickers. Open in, and I'm going to open in Goodnotes. I already have it open though, so I'm just going to go right over here. But this is what it should look like once you open it. And what it is I have some school stickers in here that I have for you all. And then I have, these are just different graphics of dates. So I can then add them onto my calendar. And so let's say I want to grade papers not on Friday, we'll say Thursday is the day that I'm going to grade papers. So I'm going to take my lasso tool, and I'm going to take this grade papers, I'm going to copy it over, and I'm going to go to my calendar, and I want to use this multiple times. So I'm definitely going to go to the sticker page, and I am going to paste this in here. Oops, get rid of that pen tool. I'm going to paste this in here so that I don't have to go back to that sticker album. I can just go to this stickers page and access this frequently. So I have this on stickers. I'm going to go to, let's say, February, and I'm going to paste. Let's say we are going to grade papers on Thursday. So I'm going to bring this down to the, I don't even know what date it's this week. I'm going to grade papers on the 22nd. So I could have added things to my calendar with the text box, but I like adding in these graphics because they're super cute. Okay. The last tool that I'm going to show you, so what we've done so far is we've looked at elements really quickly. We did some images. We've been looking at the lasso tool. The last thing I'm going to show you in the navigation toolbar is record audio. Now, it is important to know that our students don't have Goodnotes, and so this would only apply to sharing with other teachers. But if I press this record audio button, let's see if this will work. I wonder, oh, you know what? I wonder if it will not let me press it because I am in Teams and I'm recording right now, like I'm sharing my screen. But I do have a video in here on recording. And so when you record, what's really cool about recording is that it shows not only the audio, but any marks that you make while recording will actually show up when you press play. And so if I go ahead and click that video, so let me open this video to show you all. I'm going to speed ahead. All right, let me make it full screen. Okay, let's see. Okay, so I have pressed, let's see. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and press that record button in the very top. And then once you press it, it's going to turn orange and immediately start recording your audio. But it's also recording anything that I write. So as I am labeling this apple, it's actually recording that as well. And so then when I go ahead and play the recording, so this is me playing the recording. Oh, and I'm pressing edit here. Let me scroll back actually. Stop the recording. Okay, let me pause here. Okay, oh, I went a little too far. Notice in the top left-hand corner right here, this is where it turns into kind of like this wavy image. That is where all the audio files are held. You can do more than one recording on a page in a document. And when you press that, you see the recording. You can press play and listen to your recording and kind of watch what you've done on the document. You can also press edit and rename the clips. But what I really like, a really cool feature that a lot of people don't know, is that if I, let's try to find, okay, so, okay, if I hold down, so the recording is open, if I hold down on kind of the grayed out text, it will actually jump to the part of the recording that you did that annotation. And so if you are taking notes while recording, you're able to kind of skip ahead based on what your annotation is. So that is audio recordings in Goodnotes. I haven't seen kind of any questions. Let's see. I'm going to jump back to Goodnotes. Kaylee is going to talk about importing documents because you might want to, if you have a document already, you might not want to start from scratch. You might want to add to a document. And so, Kaylee, do you want to share about that?
Yes, I sure can.
Okay, let me stop sharing.
Alrighty. So, if you're in the slide deck, we are on slide 9, and I have linked in a couple of things for you. So a lot of the times you want, and Emily kind of showed you this about how to import a document, but we don't start with the new button like you think you would, okay? We actually are going to go to our Google Drive here. Got a lot in here. Let me go to, I'm not even sure if it's going to be in my recent, but I always just like to go to recent first, and I can see like what I have. Okay, it's not there, but luckily I know where it is. Yes, so I have shared with you this handwriting paper, and it's a folder full of handwriting paper so that when you're showing this to kids, you can use the handwriting paper. And then what's really great is you can show students how you use the handwriting paper. And then I also have the notebook paper as well that I have shared with you in the slide deck. Okay, and so I love that this paper has the lines on it. Some of them have the holes in it. So I'm actually going to click the 3 dots. And like Emily showed you before, you're going to say open in, and then you're just going to open in Goodnotes. And then because I don't have any documents open, I'm just going to import it as a new document. Okay. So I've got this great notebook paper here, but now I want to add in another document, maybe another set of handwriting. Okay. So I'm gonna just, this time, I'm gonna go back and do the handwriting paper, just so you can see the different lines. And I don't want landscape, I want portrait. I think this one is a portrait. So I'm gonna click on those 3 dots, open in, and open in Goodnotes. And then this time it's going to ask me, do you want to import it to the current document or do you want to import it as a new document? Okay. So I want to import it to my current document. So it's always important that if you want to import something to a document that you to a document that's already existing in your Goodnotes, you need to make sure you have that open in Goodnotes. And it's the last thing you've opened in Goodnotes so that when you import the new document, it will go into that document that's current. And so now I've got this handwriting paper that I can use. Okay. And so sometimes if we import something and we make a mistake and really this notebook paper really needs to be somewhere else, okay, I can move it just by clicking on the little down arrow that's next to the title and selecting move. And then I can move it anywhere in here. So I might just say I'm going to move it to this Apple folder and say move to Apple. And now it's been moved. I go to Apple. There's that notebook paper. What I can also do is I can just press down and then drag it to wherever I want it to go. That's another way that you can move a document. So just in case you maybe import a document in and it's not where you want it, you have the ability to still move it. Okay? And so I've given you videos on how to do both of those things. Emily has actually created one of those videos on 3 ways to import documents. So scanning, importing through Google Drive, and then Emily, what was the third one?
A digital resource. And so, for example,
Digital
Go
resources.
Math was the one that I used.
Yes. So you can import things that are already in our curriculum into Goodnotes. Okay. So the next thing I'm going to show you is just some quick tips that you can do in Goodnotes. And so one of the first things is customizing a cover. And so I'm going to start just by clicking this new button here. And I'm going to say a new notebook. Okay. And so you can see I've already been playing around. Normally, if I select cover, you would have something like this, and I can scroll through these different covers here. Okay. And there's a lot in here. So I will say you will not be able to purchase anything off of the marketplace just because our Apple IDs do not support that. Okay. So you're not limited though. Okay. I don't want that to discourage you. So if I were to click on this bright one and then I select color, I've got several different colors that I can choose from. Okay. I'm actually going to go and find this one. I love this polka dotted one. And if I select color, okay, I created this untitled one, but I can click customize colors at the bottom. And now I can actually create something a little more, more to my liking or more to my personality. And so I can actually go to custom and we can play around with this a little bit better. But what you need to make sure you do is once you have this, how you like it, and you can give it a title if you want, go ahead and click apply. That's the biggest thing is to make sure you click apply because if you just keep hitting the back button, it's not going to save, it's not going to make those changes. So I'm going to click apply here. And now I'm just going to tap outside of this color box so that I'm in new notebook. And there is my updated cover. Okay. And on the same lines, and that goes into my next quick trick is customizing my paper. So if I click on paper, normally this is what we've got. We've got our essentials and they're not normally pink. They're normally this yellow color. But one of my favorites is the wide ruled, which they've added with the Goodnotes 6. And if I now click on color, I can change it. And normally I like a white paper. Okay, I don't like the look of the yellow paper for some reason. I like it white. So I might use that. But what I've found is that when I am trying to show students how to write on notebook paper, they can't see the lines when I'm mirroring to the panel because the lines aren't dark enough. So if I go back into color when I'm in the paper, okay, and I scroll down to customize colors, I can leave my background as white, but I can change the foreground because it's that really light gray. I can change it to a black, or maybe if I really want it to mimic notebook paper, I can change it to blue. And then the big thing you want to make sure is to click apply so that it saves those changes. Tap outside of the color box, and now you can see I have that. And then the biggest thing you want to do also is click create so that it creates your notebook and you're ready to start using it. And so you'll see if I scroll up, there's my cover, and then there's my first page. Now I also have my move that to the side. I have my settings to where I scroll up and down to create a new page. Mine is not swiping to the side. Um, it's just something I changed in order to lasso something and move it to the next page. And I'll show you that since Emily showed you the lasso tool. Turn this on. Okay. If I lasso that, I can move it from one page to another. And really the only way you can do that is just by having your pages scroll vertically instead of horizontally. And that's just a quick change just by clicking on the three dots. Okay, and see there's my scroll direction.
What if you wanted to make a straight line on that paper so that it wouldn't, because if you try to draw, because you know how notebook paper has that red line, but if I were to try to draw it, I feel like the line would just, it would be wobbly. Is there, do you know a way to make it really nice?
Yeah, I do actually. That's such a great thought, Emily. I'm going to click on my pencil tool and I'm using a stylus just like Emily has one. And then I'm going to change my colors. I can click here to change my color to red, or I could have added one just by clicking on this little plus button right here. But now I've got my red and I'm just going to draw. And if I hold it, it will become a straight line. Okay. Now I could also use the ruler, and then I can use my two fingers to move it. And then I can actually, I'm gonna move it this way. Okay. And now I can draw a line this way as well. So it's really up to you. And then if I tap the ruler again, it goes away. So that's another way you can make a line. That's another way you can make a really quick T-chart as well. Okay, so that's my quick tips on that. What I'm also going to show you is, let's say I want to get rid of this line. It's the last thing I did. If I use two fingers, and I think of it more like the number two, you don't want your fingers to be too close together. So if I do a double tap with two fingers, that disappears. So it's like hitting the undo button. It's a really quick trick just to undo without having to go up here and click the undo button. Okay. And then another one of my favorites is we showed you with the line is if I held my pencil there and not lifted it up, it snapped into that perfect line. I can do the same thing with shapes. I'm going to switch over to this blue. And so if I were to create a circle and just hold my pencil there without lifting it up, it snaps to that perfect shape. Same thing with a rectangle and a triangle. It also works with a star, okay? But it will not work with a heart. So, so just so you know, you're limited on your perfect shapes, okay? And so that's
it can make an arrow too, right, Kaylee? An arrow?
No, that I think is in
is that never
notes.
mind. Okay, in notes.
Notes.
In notes.
Yeah, I don't think it makes an arrow. We can try. I'm not really good at drawing, and I lifted up my pen, so it's not gonna draw. That one would be great. Yeah, I don't think this one makes an arrow.
Oh, it does if you just do, but it's not really
It's Is it this one?
Perfect. Yes. I mean, it does it a little bit, but it's not
Yeah, the key is
perfect.
not to lift your pencil.
Yeah.
Okay, you have to
I
keep it.
honestly, I like it. Quick Venn diagram, quick T chart. That's how I would use it
Yeah.
to pull those in.
Yeah. So I like that. You can also do the same with the shape tool. So I've clicked onto the shape tool and now go to pink over
And you
here.
have shape fill
I,
turned on, correct?
I do. So if I click on the shape again, I have the require hold to snap turned off, but I can snap other shapes and I can have a fill color. I can turn that fill color off. So now when I create a shape, it's empty. It doesn't have that fill. There's sometimes I like this for like if I'm making a to-do list, I love using this. Let me just scroll a page. I'm going to zoom in a little bit more. I'm going to turn that back on because I like having the fill color there and I like just using it to make my checkbox because it's so nice. And then what I can use my lasso tool to copy and then paste it and move it around. So that's kind of a way that I like to do a to-do list if I'm making one for myself. Okay. The next thing I want to show you is sharing and collaborating. So I'm actually going to go back in here because I did pull this in and I have this in our slide deck on the sharing and collaborating slide, which would be slide 11. And I've given you it in a doc form. I've given you this in a slide deck form, and I've also given you graphics. So those are the three resources that I've given you. But let's say I have pulled this document from my drive into Goodnotes. And what I want to do is I want to share it with the rest of my team so that we can kind of plan out this unit together. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on the Share button right here. Okay. And then I've already turned this on. Normally this is off. Okay. Let me go ahead and turn it off. There we go. And so what you'll do is you'll turn this on. And when you turn it on, it does take a minute to set up that share setting. Okay. And now I can say, it turned off. There it goes. The link has been copied. And so now I can paste the link into Teams and share it really quickly with my PLC, and then we can all collaborate at the same time, which is really neat. So I tested this out the other day just to make sure it was working and I could actually see one of our DLS's writing. So that was really, really neat. So I love this. Okay. And so you can just also click on that send link and then you can airdrop it. If you are familiar with airdropping, if you all have to turn on your airdrops in your settings. It says everyone for 10 minutes, and then you can airdrop if you're all in close proximity.
And
If not,
Kaylee,
no worries.
I'll let you finish if you have more to collaborate, but while you're in that share button, there's one more thing they can do in there. So let me know when you're done.
Okay. And so I have Teams set up on my iPad, so I can just quickly share it with someone in Teams here as well. And I can scroll through my different people. And then I can also scroll and have Teams right here as well. Emily, what did you want me to show?
If you scroll down, let's see in that share button, do you see under, okay, click edit actions. I'm wondering, okay, maybe I don't see yours because maybe you don't have, should I hit the share? Oh, maybe, I'm not seeing, oh, there it is. I was looking for print. I was like, where is it?
Oh,
So you now have the ability to print. So if you are note taking, you do have the ability to print. And we do have the instructions in the slide deck. So Kaylee, if you'll go ahead and hit print, and then you can choose either print this page or print all. And so you can pick either one. And then what you're going to do is you're actually not going to select a printer here. You're going to press that share button again. And I don't know if Kaylee has installed it yet, because this
I
really
have
is,
not.
it is brand new, but there, the instructions are in the slide deck. Notice where it says AirDrop, Mail, Notes. You will have to go to self-service and install an app, and that app is called, I believe it's called Uniflow Online, and it's not got, Kaylee, I don't know if it'll show up for you because I don't know if it's in ours.
Oh, that's
But it has some squares. It's called, the instructions are in the slide deck. But once you install that app, then you just hit that button, and then you say add to queue. And we do have a video in there as well. So if you are note taking with your students and you have students that require notes be printed, you can now, rather than export this out and send it to your drive and then print from your computer, you can actually print anything from your iPads now. And so this is brand brand spanking new. And
yeah,
so Kaylee doesn't even have the app yet. I just
I know.
installed it today. But you can print now, so that is that's a big deal.
And so the last thing that I want to show you is saving to your drive, because sometimes these GoodNotes files will take up a lot of space on your iPad. And so what you want to do is you want to select the three dots and you know what? I'm sorry. You want to exit out of, go back to your kind of your library, your landing page, and click on the gear. And then you want to select cloud and backup. And then you can see I have my automatic backup is enabled. And I did that because so that it would sync to my cloud storage. And so I just selected cloud storage, and then I selected Google Drive, and it has you sign in. And so I've included a video from Goodnotes on just 3 ways to back up your Goodnotes to whatever you prefer. And so that video is there for you to watch because we are running out of time. And I really want Emily to cover her best practices.
Well, the last thing that we're going to kind of share is, Kaylee, do you have the slide deck open on your iPad?
I don't, but I can quickly get it.
Okay. The last thing really is thinking about how you would just apply all of this in your classroom. The number one thing that we see is teachers pulling up their slide decks and using the Clear Touch Panel Android overlay. That's that pen tool that's on the side, but they're stuck at the board. They're not able to move around the room. And while that's a great feature, in order to move your slides or documents, anything, you have to exit out of the overlay tool and then move the slide and then rewrite on it. If you were to import your slide deck like this one into Goodnotes, it gives you mobility in your classroom. You can annotate and still move around the room, but your kids can still go up and use that Android overlay. And so a really good practice is for you as the teacher to be using Goodnotes, but then have your students go up and they're using the Clear Touch panel. And so you're getting the kids more involved in the activity, so it's a little bit more engaging. But notice Kaylee is writing and she is moving the slide deck. I hate that Android overlay it's really for something quick, not something that's going to stick. That's what Brandy always says. That is our last kind of tip to share. If you scroll to the very last slide, we do, or I guess second to last slide, we do have our pen, some nice pens that you can use. Make sure to use the coupons. Because that really brings the price down. Sometimes it's like, oh, this looks really expensive. But then once you add those coupons, it's not too bad. And you definitely want credit for coming to this session. So on the very, very last slide, there is the QR code is super easy to use. But if it's not working for you, if you can't get the QR code to work, you can always go into your dashboard, go to Kick Up, click the green button, which I believe says confirm attendance, and then paste that text in, copy and paste. So to get credit for today, we hope you all learned a lot.